Loving the start. Abigail Shimmer Creep Kithkeeper is spicy.
Woo, woo. I gotta fan myself up.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Lords of Limited. My name is Ben Warney, and joining me on the line, as always, Mr. Ethan Badger Mole Cub Sachs. I feel safe going with that one because I feel like that is still a linchpin of standard, and I was thinking about another card to go for, and I didn't want to overreach and have you tell me I was out of date. So the first question is Badger Mole Cub still in standard?
Badger Mole Cub is still in standard. Yes, still standard legal. It was not banned this week. What was the other card you were thinking of choosing?
Dimir Excruciator is not a card, right? That's a deck name?
Correct. Doomsday Excruciator.
Excruciator. There we go. Yeah, I thought about looking that one up, and then I was trying to think of like cute ancillary cards that might be alongside those, and I just chickened out. Went with the Cub. Felt safe.
Yes, I have been knee deep in standard this week. Apologies to the limited lovers out there. And I'm really mostly sorry for myself. Our friend J-Maz started posting 7-1 trophy lists to us in our group chat from the Powered Cube. And I was like, I wish I could play Cube. I wish I could play Lorwyn Eclipsed. And I did play some Cube. I did one Cube draft so far. And then I played some Lorwyn Eclipsed this week. But I have mostly been playing standard because deck submission is tomorrow for Arena Champs.
And are we allowed to know what you're submitting? Is that top secret? Is it hush hush?
I'm gonna play Excruciator. I don't know what my final list is gonna be, but I'm gonna play Excruciator. I think the deck is very good, and I'm kind of confused about I'm in a couple different testing groups, and no one seems to be considering the deck. It just won.
Is that allowed? Are you allowed to be in multiple different testing groups?
It's
play in the field a little bit. That feels like you're cheating on your significant other.
It's a mix. Well, when I was invited to a second one, I said, "Hey, I'm also working with some other people," and they're like, "That's okay." And it's been I have largely contributed nothing to either group because I'm playing. I think I'm going to play this deck, and people are like, "Well, we're not playing that deck." So cool. It won the Pro Tour. It just won the regional championship yesterday. I told myself I was going to spend this week playing mono green and seeing if I could get into that. I hate playing the mono green deck. I assume it's because it has Saj's Chocobo in it, but I what a more I don't know. It's just such a quintessential Lords of Limited bit to be brought to bear that mono green is one of, if not the best deck in standard right now. And I'm just nah, I don't want to do that. I'll play the Spittly black deck instead. But I like the deck. I'm trying to figure out how exactly to tune it. It's definitely the deck I have by far the most experience with post Lorwyn Eclipsed. Before that was probably Lessons. I also like playing Lessons. Standard does feel like, I think I said this to you on Lords Unlimited, it feels like old Modern right now. And I think a lot of the advice is just pick the deck. Pick one of the top 6 to 12 decks that you like to play and just play it. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to play that deck.
And we will, by the time we record next week, we will have some results. Are we going to need to push our recording time around for you? What's the structure of this tournament?
So it's a, 100-ish, 120 person tournament. It's 8 rounds on day 1. So
which is Saturday?
Which is Saturday. And I believe 6 and 2 or better advance to day 2. So not many people advance to day 2. And then there's some number of, if there are any number of rounds that need to be played to determine the top 16 on Sunday, and then the top 16 bracket plays out on Sunday. So we may need to push, but I think the start time is enough in the afternoon. It's noon or 1 that
we can just
we could
early.
Record before. But you're gonna need to play some limited, my friend.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you. Are you double queuing the limited quals?
Oh, that's the thing that's so annoying. Is the first Arena limited qualifier is next week.
I will be playing some limited next week for sure.
I really
have my schedule blocked off. I told Catherine I am playing in this Magic tournament. It's happening. I think she's gonna go visit her dad in Tennessee.
It's such an interesting I don't know. It's not whiplash isn't the right word, but I feel so I get fired up about competitive Magic, and I really loved qualifying for Arena Champs, and getting to play like high stakes limited and do my deck swaps and sealed and whatever. And now I'm like, but for what?
Being punished.
I'm being punished right now. Just like
You really are.
just being blindly like trying to figure out which deck should I play? Should I play a soul guide, 2 soul guide lanterns, 1 soul guide lantern? Like, it's hard. Who cares? It's hard. These questions are horrible. I would just rather draft and draft and draft. But unfortunately, here I am. It's like a good problem to have, but it makes me reconsider trying to qualify for these things in the future.
How many percentage points do you think the decision to play 1 Soul Guide Lantern or 2 Soul Guide Lanterns is worth?
Bro, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what.
Lands tell you.
I'll tell you what. I'm not playing any. I'm not playing any Soul Guide Lanterns, which is I think it's blasphemy.
Is that a hot take? Wow,
that's a hot take. Everybody is playing. Sorry, we're just getting into constructed corner because it's like all I can contribute this week, as that's what I've been doing. But Soul Guide Lantern, I'm finally achieving my dream of being the limited podcast that people tune into for limited, and I'm just like some schmo talking about my constructed mumblings. Here we go. Soul Guide Lantern, I'm sure I'm wrong because like every list, like everybody is running like 1 to 2 Soul Guide Lanterns as their graveyard hate. That like there was a Reanimator deck in Standard that has largely like disappeared. Soul Guide Lantern actually hated on Reanimator. And then it was sort of like splash damage against like, lessons to keep them off of 3 lessons to turn on Accumulate Wisdom and Grand, or whatever. The deck I'm playing, like, keep you off of being able to use your Cavero Superior Spider-Man to exile a Doomsday Excruciator or whatever, or Deceit. But like it just doesn't do enough in those spots. So I'm playing I am going to play some Graveyard Hate, but I'm leaning towards Strategic Betrayal. That's the like edict, and like they exile a creature and then exile their graveyard, because I feel like that does a little bit more. But like that sort of stuff is just like, ugh. What do I like, sideboard maps? It's all bad. It's all bad. I don't love it. I don't love it.
If I were a listener to this podcast, I would have tuned out already.
and you're saying that because you yourself had just tuned out.
I'm a little checked out. Yeah, I was thinking
it's really nice to be to have your friend invested in you and your magic journey.
I will be tuning in.
You will not. You will not be tuning in.
I will be queuing for the limited champs. I will be double screening. I will be drafting, and I will have Twitch up on the other screen.
What amount of the broadcast do you expect you will watch of Arena Champs? None.
The whole time I am drafting,
You're not going to watch.
I will support you as a friend. I am outraged.
I'm not going to like. If I were on coverage, I imagine you would watch. But like, you're not going to watch 2 randos play. Is it Lessons versus Doomsday Excruciator on Arena Champs?
If you're playing in the tournament, absolutely, I will. I'm a good friend.
Here's what I would rather you not watch matches of Magic played by people that aren't me, and I would much rather you just listen to me on our podcast. That would be my preference.
You were talking about Soul Guide Lantern and playing an edict that exiles a graveyard instead of Soul Guide Lantern. I was tuned in.
So your Powered Cube life.
My Powered Cube life. I drafted a very nice Jeskai deck just last night, and I am itching to play it. But even more than my Powered Cube life, do you know what I finally got a chance to play? Which was a good drug, Fairies in Lorwyn Eclipsed.
Oh yeah, you sent me the deck.
Fun to pilot.
That is awesome. Any like surprises? Do you feel like it really was a sort of like 1 in 30, 1 in 40 kind of deck that came together? Like, or you had eyes for it and sort of moved in on it? Like, what happened?
It was definitely right. I wasn't trying to do it. I just kind of moved into it naturally in my seat. I don't remember exactly how it happened. It was earlier in the week. But it felt like if I ever stuck the blue, black, gold uncommon or the black 2/3 lifelink that put -1/-1 counters on something, if either of those 2 cards ever stuck to the battlefield, it was trivially easy to win the game. And it's exactly, I like playing draw go Magic like that. It was really, really fun to pilot and play.
Did you play any Runaway Togethers in that deck?
I did not have a Runaway Together, no.
Okay.
But it would be good, I think, to protect your things.
Yeah, I always think about like that feels like because I don't feel like that card like fits in this format except in that deck, really. I
I
also
had
finally.
I had
Oh,
the
go ahead.
hexproof trick instead of runaway together, the +1/+2. That was what I had to protect them.
Oh, Aquitect's defenses.
Defenses, yeah.
Um, I finally got to play in the Vivid space this week,
And
and it was
checks
great.
out.
It was great. And for the people who poop, like, I feel like you a couple weeks ago you were like, I love this Vivid life, but also it can't hang in best of one, and we got a bunch of comments about that. I was playing in best of one, and it can hang. I don't see what the deal was. I didn't trophy. I got like 6 wins with 2 Vivid decks, so just shy of trophying in best of one, but it was, and it was exactly as you described. It was much a different shift than, as we'll get to. We're going to review some of the drafts that were on coverage of the Spotlight series that was in Toronto last weekend, and some of the coverage team, as we'll get to, the Vivid deck that Calcano drafted, kept thinking that he wanted fixing. They kept being like, "Oh, you're going to need like a Changeling Wayfinder, Great Forest Druid," and I was like, "No, no, 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 no. Vivid decks are 2-color decks.
Yep.
You don't need fixing. You need different colored permanents. Like, you need your Foraging Wickermaws, or you need your Hybrid Mana, or you need your Puka's Eyes, or your Shimmer Wild's Growth. Like, you need ways to have 5 colors of permanents, but you don't need to have the full, full 5 colors of mana. I did play. I had I think it was Boros Vivid deck that had like 5 ways to make treasures, like 2 Noggle Robbers, or like 5 ways to splash without mana, like Noggle Robbers, the rare Scuzzback Scrounger that makes treasures when you blight, and 2 Wickermaws. And so I splashed a Prismatic Undercurrents in that deck, and which
Okay.
frequently was able to pull out 4 or 5 lands from my deck, which was great. But great because I needed, like, that gave me my, like, air quotes burst draw, that then my Gristle Glutton and Flaring Cinders were able
Could
to,
turn into
like,
actual cards, yeah.
loot away, which was really important for the deck because, you do need that, and you need the cards in hand, which, and when I'm red white Vivid, Burning Curiosity doesn't quite do that because it only gives you that burst for the 1 turn. So yeah, I'm a believer in the Vivid payoffs now.
Well, welcome to the club.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. And speaking of welcoming people to the club, let's talk about the Patreon page. Patreon.com/Lords of Limited is where folks can go to give back to the show if they so choose. The show will always be free. We have some great perks over at the Patreon page. One is access to our Discord, great 24/7 limited tech support space on the internet. And the other is access to our podcast feed, where you get not only this episode a day early ad free, but also access to our weekly bonus episode of Lords Unlimited. So if any or all of that sounds of interest to you, please head on over to the Patreon page. And we want to shout out our new patrons the first week that they join. So this week we're welcoming Nevermore, Ariana, Austin, Jack, Peter, Matt, Kamig, Tristan, Simcrow, Clayton, and Oren. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate your support.
Cannot say thank you enough. I feel like I have missed some catchphrases the last few episodes, and people have been calling me out on it in the Discord, and rightly so. I will get my game together. Cannot say thank you enough to all of our new patrons.
Yeah, that's 2. 1 for this week and 1 for last week, right? You're making up for
Correct.
it.
Yeah.
Right. We don't often get to do this. We don't often get, we have the Pro Tour episode where we get to do a couple high stakes draft. We don't actually often get to do this twice for one format. And I guess maybe we'll get to do, next week, if you're playing in the LTQ, maybe you'll have some draft
I'll have some
logs.
drafts. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh
I'll be
my God,
reporting that
drafts
I
on
was
drafts on
victorious
drafts.
and I'm queued.
I hope to hear
How
so.
hard is it going to be? It's not going to be that hard to queue for the
Yeah.
big tournament, right? You just have to, 7x 2 drafts?
By the big tournament, you mean the qualifier for the limited championship, right?
Correct. But this feeds into a tournament that feeds into the limited
Correct.
PT.
How hard is it? Let's see. I mean, you got a back-to-back trophy. That's kind of hard.
But you get unlimited tries, right? If you're willing to spend money.
Unlimited tries for your first entry, yeah.
Yeah, but if you scrub out on the second entry,
correct,
you get to
yeah.
re-rack the first entry. It's not like you're on an arena
I
open
think
of
even
old.
if you win, I think you can get go for the prize money multiple times. Is that not true?
Can you really? That's
I don't
so unhealthy.
I don't see why not. I agree, it's unhealthy, but
I wonder how many people think it's going to be positive EV that it's going to be super negative EV for. Probably, I'm probably one of those people
I feel like
in
I'm
that
probably one of
camp.
those people. Yeah. Oh boy. So we have a number of, there were 2 drafts on day 2 of the Spotlight series and then the top 8 draft. And for each of those drafts, they showed 2 seats at the feature draft table. So we have a total of 6 draft logs that we could go over today. Ben transcribed a few. I transcribed a few. Where do you want to start?
Let's start at the beginning of the day. Let's start with draft number 1, which is Christian Calcano sitting down at the table on coverage.
Can I
There
just pause
is
for a second and say that it feels good. It feels right and good and like a simpler time to say Christian Calcano in the featured draft on
does
coverage
feel pretty nice.
of a GP-esque limited event. That
Yeah.
feels good. That warms my heart to see.
Does feel very good. All right, pack 1, pick 1. He sees the following cards as options. There's a Moonlit Lamenter, which is 2 and a white for the 2/5 Tree Folk that comes in with a -1/-1 counter, and then you can pay 1 and a white to remove a counter from it to draw a card. There is Tam, Mindful First Year, which is 1 and Simic Hybrid for a 2/2 rare. Each other creature you control has hexproof from each of its other colors, and you can tap it to give target creature you control all colors until end of turn. And there's another rare, Lucky Christian. There is Sig's Command, 1 blue-white for a Kindred Sorcery Merfolk. You choose 2, make a token that's a copy of target Merfolk you control. Creatures target player controls gains lifelink until end of turn. Target player draws a card, or you can tap target creature and put a stun counter on it.
Oof. Well, I don't think Tam is in consideration for me. It is between Moonlit Lamenter and Sig's Command.
Why?
I
I think Tam is what I would pick here.
Interesting. I think, why do I want to say that? I'm just not, despite my vivid journey this week, maybe I'm not vivid pilled enough for Tam. Tam is very flexible. Go ahead.
Giver of Runes seems better than Moonlit Lamenter.
Giver of Runes. It's not quite Giver of Runes, but yeah, it's close.
Yeah, it basically is for limited.
It's close. Yeah, it doesn't give protection in combat. That's the big change. Yeah, maybe I should take Tam. I like Moonlit Lamenter a lot. Sig's Command is...
I think Sig's Command is in third for me, is the interesting thing. And is it for you?
It is. I guess it is for me. I mean, I guess before hearing you talk about Tam, maybe Tam was in third for me. Sig's Command is an interesting card. I don't think I've cast it. Maybe I've had it in one deck this format. It is
definitely the worst of the commands.
The weakest of the commands. But like, copy a Merfolk, draw a card is still a very good card. This is not how this is sort of the divide that we've been talking about this whole format. This is not the power level of a card that I want to take first
to commit
to a Merfolk, to have a blank or get off the pot, if you will, for a typal deck. You like Tam here?
It's the most flexible card. Yeah, I like Tam quite a bit. And I mean, I'm predisposed to want to go down a vivid route. Tam's great with my predilections, but I also like Moonlit Lamenter quite a bit more than Sig's Command as well.
Moonlit Lamenter is sort of the reverse. Like, I feel like I came to this conclusion a while ago, but that in my head, I'm like, oh, it's mono white. It goes in any deck. But it's not really true, because like your best Merfolk decks and your best Kithkin decks do not want to play Moonlit Lamenter.
Correct.
There's so many more blue-white and green-white decks beyond that, plus having it in red-white or black-white is also nice. But Calc disagrees with us, and he takes the Sig's Command.
Yeah, I think this draft is a very interesting representation of how you can get rewarded if you believe and stick to your guns. And I rarely get rewarded in the manner that we're going to see in Calcano's draft here. So,
that like a lot of people have talked about how it's very funny that this is kind of a gumption format, or a lot of people are viewing it as a gumption format, meaning like a sort of build it and they will come, a sort of, I'm going to take a Merfolk card and then hold on and believe. And it's very funny that we are not approaching it that way.
Yeah. I mean,
despite liking doing that in a lot of formats. Yeah. Anyway,
but I think that the piece that's missing from the gumption definition is that gumption often is defined as an underdrafted archetype as well that you're trying to gumption into, and these are the 5 major archetypes.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, a good caveat for sure.
So, pack 1, pick 1, Sig's Command for Calcano. Moving on to pack 1, pick 2. See the following cards as options. This pack is stacked. There
Yeah.
is Reaping Willow, which is 1 Orzhov for the 3/6 lifelink. Comes in with 2 -1/-1 counters. You can pay Orzhov to remove 2 -1/-1 counters to return a creature mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. There's Seer, 1 in red, deal 4 damage to a creature or player at instant speed, or creature or planeswalker probably. I don't know. 4 damage.
It is
Can't go
creature
face.
planeswalker, yeah.
Yeah, not it can't go 4 to the dome. Morkan's Eyes, 1 in a green for the Elves enchantment that lets you surveil 1, and then pay 4 green to crack it to make 2/2 elves equal to the number of elf creatures in your graveyard. I was drafting this week, and I pack 1, pick 1, Eclipsed Elf, trying to see what all the fuss was about against my better
Stop.
nature.
You gotta stop. You just take Eclipsed Elf because maybe it's the best card in the pack. Just relax. Anyway, then.
Didn't happen for me. Didn't come
Okay.
together. I was missing a Morkan's Eyes. Morkan's Eyes is the card that makes the Elves deck tick more than any other, I think.
Did you hear what's the record now, I think, for the Lords of Limited treasure hunt was 17 tokens from Morkan's Eyes?
And they were deckless at that point, I assume.
Yeah.
or that maybe people are just starting to run 50 card decks to get the record higher.
To get the count higher, you love to see it. Yeah, exactly.
There's also a Glen Elendra Guardian in the pack, which is the blue rare. It's 2 and a blue for a 2/3 flash flying. Actually, it's 3/4 flash flying. Comes in with a -1/-1 counter, and you can pay 1 and a blue to remove a -1/-1 counter from it to negate something, and then your opponent gets to draw a card to replace whatever you negated. And there's also a Cinder Strike. 1 in a red, sorcery, deal 2. If you blight, deals 4.
What a pack.
It's a banger of a pack.
What a pack. So my first question is, if this is pack 1, pick 1, what are you taking?
I am taking Glen Elendra Guardian all day. I love that card.
Yeah. That card is very good.
What are you taking?
I think that's what I would take. I mean, I think there's an argument to be made for Morkan's Eyes.
Yeah, I think there is.
I think
it is the. Do you agree that it's the linchpin card for the Elves deck?
Yes, I think so.
Non-rare, I mean.
Yeah, because like definitely more than the Lord, which is also very good, and more than Eclipsed Elf. Yeah, Morkan's Eyes is just like
it's an I win button that is very difficult to interact with.
That also smooths your draws. Like a turn 2 Morkan's Eyes feels horrible. Unless you're like, yeah, I can get the game over in 6 turns. Which decks in this format don't often do.
Right.
I think Morkan's Eyes and Glen Elendra ahead of Seer and Cinder Strike as good removal, and I would take Seer over Cinder Strike. And Reaping Willow, I think, is behind those. Yeah. And so with Sig's Command in the pile, I would think a pretty easy, not to say easy, but follows up pretty nicely with a blue card with Glen Elendra Guardian.
Unless Calcano is into the Vivid tech and wants to give himself outs to Vivid. That's what this pick says to me. Like
well, and we know that he is in the Vivid tech.
Sure, but not in this seat particularly. No. But what Reaping this is like the pick that Seth faced, like where I wanted him to take Prisma Basher. Taking Prisma Basher was the insurance pick. I feel like Reaping Willow here from Calcano is, well, this gives me 2 things to draft in my seat now. Like if Vivid's coming, I can off ramp out of Merfolk into Vivid. If Merfolk's coming, I'm still going to play this Reaping Willow in my Merfolk deck, and it's still going to be good.
But why wouldn't you take Glen Elendra Guardian here as a blue follow up to Sig's Command?
I mean, I think Glen Elendra Guardian is the best card, but it doesn't open up as many lanes, I don't think, as Reaping Willow does.
I don't understand. I don't get that. I don't understand how
I guess you can still just
triple Orzhov card opens up more options for
well, because I think the Vivid decks are so frequently base white. It's hard to find things that are off black.
I guess that seems like it's a powerful card. Like this is what Calcano ends up taking here. It's a powerful card. It doesn't, but so are all the cards in this pack, and it doesn't quite track to me taking it over Glen Elendra Guardian.
I was surprised to see it also. So Calc has a Sig's Command and a Reaping Willow. And then from here on out, like, sees some really weak packs. So pack 1, pick 3, grabs a Blossom Bind out of an insanely weak pack. Just truly no decision points, which is the 1 in a blue, lock something down and counters can't be put on it. Pack 1, Pick 4 has a choice between a bunch of cards that don't really go with what he's got. There's Apuka's Eye, which is the cantripping thing that lets you choose a color. And then if you have all 5 vivid colors enabled, you can pay 3 and tap it to draw a card. There's Dream Caesar, which is 3 and a black for the 3/2. When it ETBs, you blight 1 to have your opponent discard a card. There's Gangly Stompling, which is the green-red common hybrid with 4/2 trample. And Glister Baron, which is the triple Simic hybrid 1/4 that vivids to give an attacking creature +X equal to your vivid count.
Can you talk to me about Puka's Eye? And like more in terms of like when you are happy to pick it. Like, is pick 4 a spot where you're like, I could take it? Because it feels early to me.
It's early, but I think I would take it here.
It has the highest
personally.
upside, I would say, of these cards.
Yeah, it's very hard for me to see a world where Dream Caesar makes
the
my deck.
Uh-huh.
To me, what I was thinking with the Dream Caesar
That
pick
was
here
that
is
was
maybe
really my Snowmelt Stag of this format. I was all
Dream
hot and bothered
Caesar.
about Dream Caesar after early access, and I've not really played that card since. Anyway,
Yeah, I think Dream Caesar, which is what Calcano takes here, is maybe a nod to knowing, well, I passed this Glenelender Guardian, I took this Reaping Willow. Dream Caesar like kind of goes along with those cards, so it's like the closest I can come to cutting my neighbor out of what I'm worried they're maybe going to be drafting ahead of me. But I would take Puka's Eye on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like the Puka's Eye better. I guess Dream Caesar also combos with the Reaping Willow, that it can blight onto it.
That's true, but that means you're moving off 6 Command and Blossom Bind. I mean, that's all fine. I think there's some eyes for Glister Baron, too. I mean, the Merfolk deck can make some stuff unblockable, and Glister Baron can help
Yeah, that's true.
put that unblockable clock going.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that. Glister Baron is not a card that I have played much, so I could see it.
But regardless, doesn't really matter what you pick out of this pack, I don't think.
Sure.
So Calcano takes a Dream Caesar, so now has 6 Command, Reaping Willow, Blossom Bind, and Dream Caesar. Moving on to pack 1, pick 5. Super weak pack again. You're choosing between Wild Unraveling, which is the blue counter spell that you either blight 1 or pay an additional 1 for, or Keep Out, which is the 1 and white, deal 4 to a tapped creature or blow up an enchantment.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess I prefer Keep Out to Wild Unraveling, but I don't particularly care.
Yeah, Calcano sticks with Wild Unraveling, but those are very similarly powered cards. No qualms there.
I guess the Wild Unraveling blights onto the Reaping Willow. There you go.
There you go. All right. Yeah. That's the tech. So maybe that's the tiebreaker. You're feeling what right now if you're Calcano? These 5 picks. 6 Command, Reaping Willow, Blossom Mind, Dream Caesar, Wild Unraveling.
I was just telling you before we recorded how like frustrated I get when coverage talks about drafters being like, they're really unhappy at this point. Like they have no agency over what's going on. So now you're asking me, how does he feel? Or how would I feel if I were him?
Yeah, I want you to tell the people so that coverage isn't telling the people. Put yourself in Calc's shoes. Have some empathy.
I mean, I feel like this draft isn't going great, but I also feel like these packs have just been bad. And so that means the packs are bad for everybody at my pod. And so I don't need to over index on like, this draft is weak. But I'm not feeling like I'm it's the worst kind of draft to have, which is ones where I'm not seeing clear signals and I don't have a clear anchor to hold on to.
Correct. That's what I was saying. That's what I'm trying to dig into here, which is with that question, which is what is your plan going forward? Like what is your hope for the rest of pack 1 if you're in this spot?
Either to see a signal, like I feel at this point no qualms chucking everything in the garbage. Like I want either a clear signal or to just continue to take what I think are the best cards out of the packs, and hopefully I get some power at the start of pack 2.
Moving on to pack 1, pick 6. You see a pretty good pack here. There's a Spiral into Solitude, which is the white pacifism that you can pay 1 and a white to exile the creature if you blight 1. There's Temporal Cleansing, the 3 and a blue Convoke. Put something on the top or bottom of an opponent's library. Mischievous Sneakling, which is the 1 and Dimir Flash 2/2 Changeling.
I think I would land on Sneakling here. As a Flash Changeling, and it's hybrid. Like the basically, I feel like at this point, with him having 6 command, Blossom Bind, Wild Unraveling, Temporal Cleansing, it's likely to be blue. But I guess 6 command is, you're only playing that if you're Merfolk. Like it's not like sometimes like Ashling's command, you can be blue black and just splash that, or be black red and splash Ashling's command. You're not splashing 6 command in a non blue white deck. But I do feel like 3 of his 6 cards are blue, or two, 3 of his 5 cards are blue at this point. So I feel like that's what he knows. I don't know. I like Sneakling. Temporal Cleansing, I feel like I only like if I'm in Merfolk and he doesn't know he's Merfolk.
Yeah, I think I would be leaning towards Spiral into Solitude here. I think Reaping Willow is your best card that stands on its own.
I agree, but like I feel like the picks he's made, if he takes Keep Out the last pack, definitely you take Spiral here. He seems to be skewing more blue than white. And so I'm trying to be like, okay, if that's what we're doing, like I agree with you. If you had taken Reaping Willow second, which I'm not sure you do, like I would rather have taken Glen Elendra, but I don't want to.
Right, I would have taken Glen second also.
But so then if you're taking Glen, then I'm definitely like ignoring the white cards at this point.
Sure. I'm saying if I'm Calc with his 5 picks, even with the Wild Unraveling, I still would take Spiral into Solitude.
Yeah. I like it the best of these cards for sure. And I do think, he does already have an enchantment removal spell. And while I do think Spiral is generally better than Blossom Bind, like I don't want more than that. Like I don't,
Sure.
I don't want to play 2 Spirals or 2 Blossom Binds, which is kind of my argument for Sneakling, is that like it's a flexible 2-drop.
2-drop.
Flexible in the way that we've been talking about these changelings and these hybrid cards, in that like, is this going to be a powerhouse in his deck? No, but it just gives him a lot of wiggle room right now
in the draft to figure out what he needs to figure out.
What if he ends up base black?
Right.
And then he can be like, well, I can play Reaping Willow, Dream Caesar, and Mischievous Sneakling if I end up base black. Like, I think Sneakling has a lot of merits in this spot because of that.
I like that take. You've sold me. I think I would be on Mischievous Sneakling here as well. Calcano is on Temporal Cleansing. Pack 1, pick 7. You see another Temporal Cleansing, a Sting Slinger, which is 2 and a red for the 3/3 that can blight to deal 2 damage to the dome. So maybe a hint of a Goblin Signal, but another insanely weak pack again.
A part of me just wanted to go look up what the game and hand win rate of Sting Slinger was.
That's a terrible impulse.
Just to feel something. I do like Sting Slinger, and I think I would take it here. Do I ever want to play 2 Temporal Cleansings? Maybe in like the best of the best Merfolk decks, but we are not on track to do that. If those are truly the only 2 cards worth mentioning, I would probably just spec on the Sting Slinger. Again, like I can end up red black, play Reaping Willow, play Dream Caesar, play Sting Slinger, call it good.
Yeah, you could. Calcano takes Temporal Cleansing, sticks to the disciplined blue-white draft that he's got going on here. Pack 1, pick 8. You see a Tributary Vaulter, which you're very happy with. If you're Calcano, huge. That's a good sign. It's the 1/3 that whenever it attacks gives another Merfolk +2/+0, and a Boggart Mischief still hanging out in the pack.
I gotta fan myself off with some magic cards here. Boggart Mischief, pick 8. That's the 2 and a black enchantment. Blights when it comes into play and makes 2 1/1s, and then whenever a goblin dies, drain 1. Like
that's about as clear of a sign that you can get.
Most important non-rare for the goblins deck.
So you're jumping ship here if you're you?
It's tough. Like the really annoying thing is that like Tributary Vaulter is the best Merfolk card he has seen since taking Sig's command. And the fact that it's next to Boggart Mischief makes it slightly nausea-inducing to take Boggart Mischief over it. If I had taken the Sting Slinger, like there's so many. This is why drafts in this format are so fun to talk about, is because there's so many ripples. Like if you had taken the Mischievous Sneakling, it makes it a little easier to take Mischief.
There's no chance Calc can take Mischief in the spot, I don't think, with the picks he's made.
With the picks he's made, I don't think so. I don't know. Actually, I don't agree with that, actually. Because what is the best card he has right now?
Reaping Willow, and you can play that.
Reaping Willow, and you can play that, and it plays well with the Mischief. 6 command, like the feeling I have at this moment, which is why the Tributary Vaulter pick 8 throws a wrench into it, but the feeling I have is that Merfolk ain't happening, bud. You
That's
got to
what
do
I
something
think too.
else.
Yeah.
And so I would take Boggart Mischief, and I also assume, but pick 8 Boggart Mischief says to me, no one at this table wants to draft goblins. I
Correct.
do want to draft goblins, and if no one at the table wants to draft goblins, I probably will be able to make playables even if I'm scrapping my first 7 picks or whatever.
Yeah.
I would take it here. I think he can too. And whether or not he wants to, like you said about the beginning of this draft, was like, this is a really good example of just build it and it will come, and it does come. What happens if it doesn't come? Then we're talking about what a train wreck he should have taken Boggart Mischief. Like,
Sure.
it's a little revisionist history there, but I would take Mischief here in this spot.
Calcano takes the Tributary Vaulter and then gets a huge sigh of relief on the wheel. His wheels go Shore Lurker, which is the 3/3 flyer. That's kind of whatever. Into wheeling Pestered Wellguard. That is like, okay.
You love this card. This
It's
card
so
is not
good in a Merfolk deck.
Is it?
Yes. Card is great in Merfolk with 2 temporal cleansings.
Yeah,
the play pattern of play Wellguard.
Play pattern of nothing on turn 2, nothing on turn 3, turn 4 3/2. Fingers.
No. Why are we not playing 2 drops and 3 drops?
Because he doesn't have any in his pile right now.
Nah, get out of here with that energy. Pestered Wellguard's great.
Okay.
It's the 3/2 that when it becomes tapped makes a 1/1 flying token. Wheels a Glamourmite, which is the 2/2 fairy that taps something down or untaps something. There's Wanderwine Distractor, which is also another nice wheel late. It's a 4/3 Merfolk that whenever it attacks gives something -3/-0. Has this been a problem for you at all on the other side of the battlefield? Almost every time this is stuck on the battlefield, I thought, it's kind of a problem for me. I can't really block.
No, it has not been. I've rarely to barely seen this card in play. I would not say it has made any lasting impressions to me.
Well, if anyone else out there wants to give some empathy to me, I'll take some in the Lords of Limited Discord or the YouTube comments. If you have had problems with Wanderwine Distractor, lay it on me. We can start a club together.
And I'm assuming that
support group.
I'm assuming that there weren't, like, what this tells me is that the Boggart Mischief, like, if I had taken Boggart Mischief,
you still would have pivoted back.
That I would have gotten the message loud and clear, like, no, blue-white is open, just there haven't been good Merfolk cards.
Correct. I think we'll just probably call it here on this draft and tell you what happened. So pack 2, he opens Sonar Innovative First Year, which is awesome. That's the blue-red rare that does a bunch of sweet stuff for you and gives you card advantage. Into a pack 2, pick 2 Thirst for Identity, which is a bit of a yikes, but then gets Marrow Sky Swimmer into Sig, Wanderwine, Wisdom, and just really gets truly hooked up. Opens another Sig's Command, pack 3, pick 1. Gets a Wanderbrine Trapper, gets an Encumbered Regery, a pack 3, pick 5 Deep Channel Duelist, which is the blue-white Merfolk uncommon. So it truly works out in the biggest way possible. But I think the interesting thing to talk about here from how we've been talking about the format versus what we see Calcano do here is, if you and I don't take Sig's Command, do we end up in Merfolk? I don't know. I think I probably don't. Like, I think my route through this draft is probably interesting. What is it? It's so different if you first pick Tam.
You would take Tam.
I'm probably supposed to take Morkan's Eyes pick 2 if I first pick Tam, honestly.
Oh, yeah, maybe you are. Yeah, and if I take whatever, if I take Boggart Mischief, I don't know. That's interesting. But I am like never taking Sig's Command pack 1, pick 1 there, I think.
That's how I feel too. But I think if you don't, it's really hard to gumption your way into ending up Merfolk in the seat. Like, I probably end up blue-green Vivid after opening up the Sonar Innovative First Year, or some sort of, or blue X Vivid, because I probably would have taken the Puka's Eye pack 1, pick 4 also. But this is a nod to trying to draft one of the 5 major color pairs. Whether or not you're like going hard after the types gives you the outs to randomly hit the types when it is open and there aren't cards open, pack 1, pick 1.
Yeah. Well, and again, just to sort of reiterate the points we made last week about, like, or what I was realizing last week about those 5 supported color pairs is that, like, we're talking about these cards. Cards like Sig's Command and Sig Wanderwine Wisdom are not cards that blue-green gets to open.
Sure.
There isn't an equivalent there. And so Calcano ends up in a good Merfolk deck and then makes it to the finals, right, of this draft?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. I want to check in on his other draft. We're going to fast forward to Calcano's draft 2. First draft we see is Charles Wong, which is the most easy mode easy of Elves decks. Like, I would have just been like bouncing out of my seat if I were him.
It's ridiculous.
Like, pack one, pick one gets a Gloom Ripper. One of the best rares in the set. That's the 3 black 4/4 that gives +X/+O and -0/-X to something equal to the number of elves you have in play in your graveyard. And then it's just like, it's open. It's just open. Like, it doesn't have any, there's no, ooh, is he going to get there? Or, ooh, what's going on? No, he just gets there and opens Morkensize pack 2 and a second Gloom Ripper pack 3.
What's it like?
So we won't be going over that draft, not because it's powerful, but not that interesting in terms of the decisions made. Calcano, who is 2 seats to the Elves drafter's right, so feeding the Elves drafter, opens up a pack with the following cards as options. Powerful pack 1. There's Nameless Inversion, the 1 in a black shapeshifter spell that gives something +3/-3 and loses all types. Twin Flame Travelers is the 2 blue-red 3/3 flying elemental that doubles elemental triggers. Deep Channel Duelist, the Merfolk Lord. Eclipsed Boggart, the Eclipsed Goblin. And the rare in the pack is Abigail Eloquent First Year. That's the Orzhov hybrid 2-mana 1/1 flying first strike lifelink. And when it comes into play, you remove all the text from a card and put a flying first strike and lifelink counter on it.
Abigail is incredible. And there's a lot of good cards in this pack, but I would slam Abigail. It's one of my favorite rares in the set.
I agree. If Abigail's not here, what do you take?
I would take... I hate that question. If I'm being honest, I would probably take Nameless Inversion. You're probably supposed to take Deep Channel Duelist is my guess.
I think those are the answers I would have expected from you. I agree. I think I also think at a high stakes draft, you're supposed to take Duelist. Because I don't think the staying open-y, I don't know. Nameless Inversion feels a little like, well, I'm just passing up on the potential for a very good Merfolk deck. I don't know. But we don't have to make that choice here.
But you also are giving yourself a great removal spell to end up in an Elves deck or a Goblins deck, if those are the thing that flows.
Or anything. Yeah. Okay, so Abigail into the pile. Pack 1, pick 2. Calc sees a Tributary Vaulter, the 2 and a white 1/3 Merfolk flyer. When it's tapped, it gives a Merfolk +2/+0. Seer, 1 and a red, deal 4. Flock Imposter, the 2 and a white flash flyer that picks something up if you want. And Shimmer Creep, the 4 and a black 3/5 menace with vivid drain equal to the number of different colored permanents you control.
Yeah, this is interesting. I would not take Shimmer Creep here, as vivid pilled as I am. I would snap up Flock Imposter to reset Abigail.
That's cute.
It's not cute. It's good. What would you snap?
I would snap pick Seer. That's what I would take.
No.
Yes. I don't think Flock Imposter is that good of a card. I see the dream with Abigail. I don't think it's a good card otherwise.
But you have the Abigail.
Sure. But you could play this bad card to make your good card better, and I don't want to do that. I'll just play good cards and I'll take Seer.
I think Flock Imposter is a little bit better than that, but Seer's not crazy to me. I think both of them definitely ahead of Shimmer Creep.
Yeah, but joke's on us.
Choke's on us.
Cal took Shimmer Creep, and I was very excited. I was watching this in real time. I was like, oh, this, because what this tells me is this is a person who has an opinion about the format.
Yeah. Which you kind of saw in the Reaping Willow pick. This pick makes the Reaping Willow pick make more sense too, I think.
That's true. Yeah, that this guy likes Vivid. So, pack 1, pick 3. He's got the Shimmer Creep and the Abigail. There's an Auntie Sentence, the 1 in a black sorcery, either give something -2/-2 or remove a permanent from their hand. There's Swat Away, the 2 blue, put a creature or spell on top or bottom, and it costs 2 less if something's attacking you. Prismatic Undercurrents, the Vivid land payoff, and Kithkeeper, the 7 mana Vivid payoff. That's a 3/3 flyer, brings a number of 1/1s along with it equal to your Vivid.
Way to bury the lead there. Kithkeeper's so good. So good.
I think this will, very likely be the card I award to you in our 50 takes companion Lords Unlimited. The redraftables, as we've been calling it. I will award this the card that you're too high on this card. Kithkeeper is good.
I won't hear it.
Not,
I won't hear it.
Not as good as you think it is.
Won't hear it.
Well, neither will Calcano, because that's what he takes here.
Loving the start. Abigail Shimmercreep Kithkeeper is spicy.
Black-White Vivid, here we come. Pack 1, pick 4. There's a Blight Rot, 2 and a black, -4/-4, or 4 -1/-1 counters, rather. Another Tributary Vaulter, a Tweeze, the 2 and a red deal 3. Sizzling Changeling, the 2 and a red 3/2 Changeling that when it dies, you bottle the top of your library. And Sourbread Auntie, the 2 red 4/3. When it comes in, you can Blight 2. If you do, you get 2 1/1s.
Yeah, I don't have cast a lot of Blight Rots, but I think I would take it here if you've got the Shimmer Creep.
Yeah, it makes sense to take the Blight right here. The best card in this pack is one of the 2 red cards in my mind. Either the Changeling or the Auntie. Probably the nod to the Changeling.
Yeah, I think the nod to the Changeling for sure.
Pack 1, pick 5. There's a Gristle Glutton, the 1 and a red Rummager, Lasting Tarfire, the -1/-1 counter payoff, Blighted Blackthorn, the 5 mana 3/7 Tree Folk that can blight 2 to draw a card and lose a life, and more Vivid. There's a Pukazai here, pick 5.
Yeah, I mean, sign me up. I am salivating. You asked how early I'll take Pukazai happily. I'm slamming Pukazai here quite happily.
Certainly after you have a Shimmer Creep and a Kithkeeper.
Yeah.
It's clear what you want to do. And he's just he's off to the races in the sense of he's going to be Vivid. It is unclear. It feels like as the draft goes, he's navigating what do I want to be my base colors? Because right now it seems like it's black-white easy. But he gets a Shine Striker, pick 6, the 4 blue 3/3 flyer with Vivid. You draw cards equals your Vivid payoffs. Gets a Foraging Wickermaw, pick 7, which is awesome. Why, what's up?
I know my jaw just dropped because I was looking further in the draft. You did the notes for this one, and I saw he wheeled the Flock Imposter. That was the jaw drop that you saw there on YouTube.
Yeah, he wheels the Flock Imposter, pick 10. So he gets Foraging Wickermaw, pick 7, which is great because that's another way to enable. Like having Pukazai and Wickermaw already locked up in his 2-drop slot just makes all the Vivid stuff the better. Gets a Wildvine Pummeler, pick 8, which is the 7 mana 6/5 Trample Reach that costs 1 less to cast for Vivid. Wheels Prismatic Undercurrents as well. So starting to get a little bit of I could do green as well as my Vivid, could be green-black or green-white Vivid, and splash some stuff.
Once I saw the Shine Striker, I would be trying really hard to be base blue-white, I think.
But what about but does seeing the Pummeler and the Prismatic Undercurrents change that for you at all?
No, I don't like Undercurrents that much. Pummeler's pretty whatever, and you can splash the Shimmer Creep. But at the end of pack 1, if I'm Calc, I'm planning to be base blue-white, splashing Shimmer Creep, probably not splashing Undercurrents, unless it is trivially easy to do so.
The most powerful card he sees past this is a pack 2, pick 3 Marilyn Fey Ascendant, which is the 4/5 elf fairy that comes in, they exile the top 2, you pick 1, you can play it if it's less than or equal, mana value is less than or equal to the number of those creatures you control, and then every time you cast subsequent creatures of those types or cards of those types, you get to do the same thing. And so that sort of shifts, I think, the mindset to okay, you got to splash this to some extent, and he does. Gets another Foraging Wickermaw in the middle of pack 2. Liminal Holds is where his removal is locked up in a pack 2, pick 1, and pack 3, pick 1 Liminal Hold. Though there's the Liminal Hold, pack 3, pick 1, in a pack with a Marrow Sky Swimmer, so the little blue-white Vivid Life, another Shine Striker has another card draw payoff, and Tam, Mindful First Year, the vivid enabler of all enablers. That would have been tough for me in that spot. I think I would have taken Tam if I was Calc.
This draft is juiced.
It's juiced.
Packs are insane.
Yeah. And he gets
So what does he end up building? Is he play Abigail as a black card?
Coverage calls his deck Abzan, though it looks like he's base green, white, splashing black. Because he gets there's a Great Forest Druid, the 04 Mana Dork. He gets a Formidable Speaker, the Jean Emmanuel Invitational card. So he gets skewed towards base green, plays the Wildvine Pummelers, but then it still plays, obviously Abigail. I think splashes the Maryland, or at least I would hope he does.
That's a double splash though, and then you don't get to play the Shine Striker. I don't know. It's interesting. This draft, how to build and draft this Vivid deck. It's very clear that you're going to be Vivid.
Mm-hmm.
What you choose to do with your base colors is very interesting in this spot.
He just doesn't have reasons to be base blue or black. He just the
Shine Striker to me is a huge reason to be base blue.
He doesn't have a glut of those cards. So maybe he would have seen them, maybe he could have taken them, but there didn't really seem to be a spot for him to get base blue. He also got a Shimmer Wild's Growth at some point, so that skews you into wanting to be base green for your Vivid life.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was interesting, there was a lot of trash talk on the broadcast about this deck and this draft, and Calc 2-0'd and ID'd into top 8 as the number 2 seed. Truly showing a range of the whole format between his two drafts, right? With I'm going to stick to my guns and do the Merfolk thing, pack one, pick one, build it and it'll come. And then going full 2-color Vivid here in the second draft. Very cool to see both of those approaches from him. I wonder if the wheel felt different in Calc's first draft. I feel like the wheel is an underrated part of that. I'm seeing Shore Lurker, Pestered Wellguard, Gleamermite, Wanderwine Distractor. If he's seeing different cards there, he might have shifted his mentality in packs 2 and pack 3. But I feel like that's what lets you go, okay, I think I can do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Even me, I was extremely stressed for Calcano through the first 8 picks, and I was thinking, I don't know, man. I think you're supposed to spec on that Boggart Mischief there.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as I saw Pestered Wellguard, format All-Star, pick 10, I was like, oh, this is going to be fine. And then the wheel feels very good for Calcano's first draft.
Can we do one more? Can we do a top 8?
Absolutely.
This was a tough draft. So this is the number 1 seed, Remy Goupil. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Apologies if I'm not. This was a tough draft, as you would expect a top 8 draft of a limited event like this to be. Was it 1,800 people or something? So pack 1, pick 1. Sees the following cards as options. There is a Wary Farmer, the 3-mana 3/3. If a creature entered in your end step, you surveil 1. Giant Fall, the 1 in a red, either punch spell or blow up an artifact. Moon Vigil Adherence. This card, this is the bane of my existence in this format. This is the 2GG power and toughness equal to the number of creatures in your graveyard and in play, and has trample. This card's really good, and I hate facing it.
It's very good.
That's all I have to say. And then the rare in the pack is Brigid, Klaken's Heart. That's the Kithkin flip rare 3/2. Brings along a 1/1. When you flip it, you can tap it to add a combination of green or white mana equal to the number of creatures you control.
This is definitely Brigid, right?
Sure, Brigid.
Okay. You're always taking Brigid here. Pack 1, pick 1, right?
Always, yes.
Always.
Pack 1, pick 2. Pretty weak pack. Boils down to Assert Perfection, the 1 on a green, +1/+0 punch spell, versus Unwelcome Sprite, the 1 in a blue, 2/1 flyer. When you cast something on your opponent's turn, you surveil 2.
Yeah, easy Assert Perfection here to go along with Brigid.
Pack 1, pick 3, and we should say Remy agrees, or we agree with Remy, however you want to put it.
Remy agrees with us. We're the experts here, clearly.
Pack 1, pick 3. There's a Chitinous Graspling, the 3/4 reach changeling. There's another Assert Perfection. And there's a Creekwood Safe Right, the 1 and a black 5/5 elf. Comes in with 3 -1/-1 counters. And in your end step, if there's an elf in your yard, you remove a counter from it.
I love a chitinous graspling, but even I would take a second Assert Perfection here.
So you probably don't want to think about this or over-index on this. So you passed a Moon Vigil Adherence.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about passing a Creekwood Safe Right to the person
fine.
who got Adherence? You're fine.
I feel fine.
Okay.
You got to take a second Assert Perfection there.
I agree. Pack 1, pick 4. There's a Wary Farmer. There's a Liminal Hold, the removal spell. There's a Boggart Curse Crafter, it's a black-red 2/3 Death Touch. And there's a Morning Tide's Light, which was being shouted out by Dom Harvey on coverage, who I really loved his analysis of the drafts when he was on mic. But he was shouted out Morning Tide's Light, which is not a card that is generally on my radar, but that's the like mass exile spell that then returns stuff. Have you played with this card? I've played against it. I have had people, that turn you Morkin size. I've got all my tokens go bye-bye.
The Morning Tide's Light? Wow.
Yeah. But like, is this card good?
I have played against it, and I have crushed it every time my opponents have cast it, and I have not played it, but I'm willing to listen.
Yeah. So it's not one that I would think to take here, but it was shouted out, so I thought I'd do the same. What do you think here?
I think this pick is closer than it seems between Wary Farmer and Liminal Hold. I do think when push comes to shove, you still have to take the Liminal Hold, but Wary Farmer, after double Assert Perfection, like if we take Liminal Hold here, which I do think we should, we got to pump the brakes on the old removal.
Yeah, you need threats. You need to have threats in Kithkin for sure. Like your deck just has to be like 17 creatures at the end of the day. Yeah, you're kind of selling me because I feel that way too here, and I do think you have to take Liminal Hold. I was hoping you were going to say I think it's close between Liminal Hold and Boggart Curse Crafter.
No, I do not. I do not.
I don't either, but I want it to be. Pack 1, pick 5. It's not great for the old Kithkin start. There's a Scarblade Scout, the 1 and a black 2/2 lifelink. Blossom Bind, the blue removal spell. Foraging Wickermaw, the 1/3 Scarecrow that filters mana. And Voracious Tome Seeker, the triple Dimir fairy payoff.
Yeah, I didn't. We talked about this pick pre-recording, and I think now that I've like really thought through the first 4 picks and kind of gone on the journey with you and with Remy, I think I would take Scarblade Scout here as a spec to see if Elves is open. We've seen we passed the Moon Vigil Adherence, we passed the Creekwood Safe Right. If nothing else, I don't feel very strongly about anything in this pack right now. And Scarblade Scout is making the Elves players' lives harder while giving me a chance to potentially get into Elves if that is flowing from the right.
Yeah, I think so. Remy ends up taking the Foraging Wickermaw, and this is the first pick I don't like, but it's not that I like another card better than it. I just don't like Wickermaw in this spot. Like, I think it's not going to make his Kithkin deck, so it's only like sort of a spec towards.
It's a spec towards Vivid.
But if we're specking towards something, I would rather spec towards Elves and take Scout. I'm trying to find a way for him to get into blue because I think Merfolk is ultimately like what is open, but it doesn't become open until pack 2. But
there's zero chance you can take Blossom Bind here after taking removal spell, the last 3 picks.
I agree. I just want there to be a way, but I don't think there is. Okay, so Remy takes the Wickermaw. Pack 1, pick 6. There's a Dawn's Light Archer, the Flash 4/2 Reach. There's a Gangly Stompling, the 4/2 Gruul Changeling with Trample, and Shimmer Creep, the 5 mana 3/5 Menace Vivid payoff.
Yeah, I like Stompling here as a nod to maybe we can be Elves, maybe we can be Kithkin, but we need some creatures to bash with our removal spells, and Gangly Stompling is a very good creature to use Assert Perfection with.
Pick 7, a nice breath of fresh air here as he sees a Mist Meadow Council, the 4 and a green 4/3 Kithkin that draws a card and costs 1 less to cast if you have a Kithkin. There's also a Prideful Feastling in the pack, the 2/3 Orzhov Changeling, and Burden Stoneback, the 2 mana 4/4 with 2 -1/-1 counters in white. But Council's awesome here. with the green-white start he has.
Yes, gotta take Council all day. I think that is one of the best cards for the Kithkin deck.
And nothing super exciting. A Blossoming Defense, pick 8. A couple random cards like a Guiltleaf's Embrace, the Aura, and Gold Meadow Nomad, the 1-drop. Man, has Gold Meadow Nomad not mattered in this format.
It is horrible.
That's the
truly
1-drop
awful
that you can exile from your yard to make a 1/1. Like, I thought that would be a data darling, and that's just nothing.
Yeah, it's not 2 rectangles. It is 0 rectangles.
0 rectangles, correct. After pack 1, you're just sort of feeling like, I think I'm just going to have to be green-white, right?
That's how I feel, yeah. But I don't feel badly about it. We've got good cards. We've got a Brigid, we've got a Mist Meadow Council, we've got a Stompling, we've got 3 removal spells. I like our spot at the end of pack 1. I have no regrets, and I feel good about where we are.
Yeah, were there powerful things you could have spec'd on? Yes, but I don't think it ultimately leads to a more cohesive end to pack 1.
Like what could we have spec'd on? Just the Creekwood Safe Right versus the Assert Perfection?
Yeah,
I don't even think there were really opportunities to spec.
Yeah, it could have taken Creekwood Safe Right, could have taken the Scarblade Scout, but I don't think that ultimately ends with a better pile of cards. Those don't bear fruit in any way.
Sure, yeah. I personally, I would have taken the Scarblade Scout, but I don't think that changes anything in how I feel. I think Remy and I both feel the same, which is, well, we're going to be green-white Kithkin.
Pack 2, pick 1 is a pretty interesting decision. There's a Mist Meadow Council, and I think that is in 3rd place. There is a Thoughtweft Imbuer, the 4-mana 0/5 uncommon, that when you attack alone, the thing gets +X/+X, where X is the number of Kithkin you control. And Adept Water Shaper, 2 and a white for a 3/4. Other tapped creatures you control have indestructible.
Yeah, I love an Adept Water Shaper. Kithkin wants to attack. An Adept Water Shaper is at its best when you are pressuring your opponent. I would take Water Shaper here over Thoughtweft Imbuer.
Thoughtweft Imbuer is so... I know I don't have to sell you on Thoughtweft Imbuer. I know you love this card. I feel like if he ends up like Kithkin at the end of the draft, he's going to rather have Imbuer.
I would not. I've played with Adept Water Shaper a lot, and I really like that card.
I agree that it does make things very awkward, and it's really nice in conjunction. Like the fact that he has the Blossoming Defense. He actually has 2. He's Blossoming Defense and Guiltleaf's Embrace as ways to protect the Water Shaper, which is the first thing you have to kill before you can kill the other stuff because it's indestructible. Pack 2, pick 2. There is a Foraging Wickermaw. There's a Pummeler for Hire, the 4 and a green, 4/4 Vigi Reach Ward 2, gain life equal to the highest power among giants you control. Wanderbrine Preacher, the 1 and a white 2/2, when it's tapped, gain 2. And rare in the pack is Flitterwing Nuisance, the single blue 2/2, comes in with a -1/-1 counter flyer, and then you can pay 2 and a blue to remove the counter and have like everything be an Ophidian for a turn.
If you had said the name Flitterwing Nuisance to me, there's a 0% chance I could have told you what the text of that card was.
I'm happy to help.
But
happy to help.
Pummeler for Hire is the pick here, but I want to dial in on Pummeler for Hire just as a brief thought exercise. You're not happy here taking it.
Nope.
This card matters so little in the format.
Correct.
Are we like, is our boomer showing? Like, I liked this card, but pre-playing with the set. Like, do we just have Thragtusk warm, fuzzy feelings from 15 years ago and this card isn't good anymore?
Well,
or is it just homeless? The format's too slow? If the format were faster, this would be better?
Yeah, because the big dumb green ETB gain life stuff has been historically very good.
In faster formats, yeah.
I think this is just
your life total just doesn't matter in this format. Mostly, to me, is how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's not. The Goblins player begs to differ, but yeah, it's not a great spot for this kind of effect. And it does hurt it that it's not an elf or a Kithkin.
Right.
There's no world where you can take Flitterwing Nuisance. Like, because we're saying Pummeler for Hire doesn't matter.
I want my Kithkin deck to be able to play a little bit longer of a game, and Pummeler for Hire lets you do that.
Does it? If your life total doesn't matter?
Why are we so anxious to try to not be green and white here? I don't understand.
Because I know what's coming, and so I'm trying to like forecast, trying to be like, is there a way to prepare yourself for that?
I have no interest currently in trying to not be green or white.
I think you're right. I'm just trying to make some content. It's just there is a little bit of like we're talking about how much Pummeler for Hire doesn't matter, and there is a card in this pack that does matter.
Yeah. But it's still, maybe you're going to play against goblins, and Pummeler for Hire is like a huge grown test for goblins. If nothing else, it's a good sideboard card.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. All right, pack 2, pick 3. He gets a Brie of Clan Stout Arm over Spiral into Solitude. That's the 2 red white 4/4. You can give something lifelink and flying until end of turn, which I've played with this card a number of times, and I never remember that I can do it on their turn. I'm always like, I gotta get my lifelink crack in now on my turn. I'm like, no, you can do this on blocks too.
Yeah.
And then if you gain life on your turn, you get some card advantage. Takes that over a Spiral into Solitude, which I like given how much removal he took in pack 1.
Correct. Yeah. I like this also. Would be
And
looking to splash Brie.
he had that Foraging Wicker Moss, so he's already sort of like a click towards being able to splash it. And here is where the Merfolk, like, it's not like floodgates or whatever, but Merfolk is like open mid pack 2. There's a Deep Channel Duelist pick 4 and a Deep Way Navigator pick 5. That's the flash Merfolk rare that if you attack with 3 Merfolks, they all get +1/+0 until end of turn. He doesn't get terrible cards out of those packs. I mean, at least one. He gets a Protective Response to add to his removal suite, and a Surly Farrier, which is the 2-drop that can pump creatures and give them vigilance. It was just this at this point in the draft. I was like, ooh, where could we have gotten? How could we have gotten here?
I don't think there's a way. Yeah, I don't feel regrets about what might have been. I feel good about where we are. I like picking up Protective Response. I think it's a very powerful removal spell. We need 2-drops. Surly Farrier's a Kithkin.
There's a Klacken Festival pick 6, so back on the Kithkin train for the Kithkin enchantment that makes 1/1s, which, like, isn't incredible, but plays nicely with a lot of the stuff he has. Like, plays nicely with Brigid. Having 1/1s that are indestructible when they attack with Adept Water Shaper is good. Kithkins around for your Mist Meadow Councils to be cheaper, etc. And the draft just sort of stays on rails like that, but he doesn't really get very good cards, unfortunately.
I will say, to your point, at the end of pack 2, if I could trade Water Shaper for Thought Weft Imbuer, I would.
Wait, why is that?
I just feel like I feel like we are lacking ways to push damage. Like, I'm worried that our deck's going to stall out. And Water Shaper doesn't really help you punch through anything.
And Imbuer definitely plays better with the Kithkin enchantment.
Yeah, the Klacken Festival, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, at pack 3, pick 1, he opens a Wistfulness, which is like a good card, but much better when you get the blue payoff of it. When you get the elemental with Evoke in green blue. The green part is disenchant, the blue part is draw 2, discard a card. Not crazy about, like, it's 5-mana 6/5, that's fine, but and then just like
how close is that versus Eclipsed Kithkin here for you?
I think he should take Eclipsed Kithkin.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
You need 2s, and it helps you find Brigid.
Maybe he was blinded by maybe Wistfulness is worth money. Maybe this is Tarmogoyf Gate all over.
Tarmogoyf Gate.
Yeah. A slightly underpowered draft. I agree with you ultimately that I don't think there's definitely not a way for him to get there. I think the Eclipsed Kithkin pick is probably the pick I disagree with the most of the draft. Yeah. But it's just interesting to try and see if he could have left outs or whatever to get into Merfolk. But I don't think he could have.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
What's your FOMO level at this point?
My FOMO level for Shoebox is quite high. Just coming up. Without my FOMO level is a lot less if you're not at an event. So I felt okay about not being at. I didn't feel live FOMO. I felt FOMO watching coverage and putting down the things, and I felt like not gonna be able to go to Vegas, not gonna be able to go to Shoebox. It's just I knew that was going to be the case when I took this job as the head director when our director left at the semester. Yeah, gotta live with the choices that I made, but I will be having a lot of FOMO and hoping to live vicariously through you all at Shoebox in Minnesota coming up.
Yeah, Well, we'll hope to bring home the trophy.
And if you are feeling some FOMO or you enjoyed this reduction of these drafts and your breakdown, I guess not reduction, breakdown of these drafts, and you're not already listening to, we should shout out Limited Level Ups, who had on people who played in the main event and day 2'd, Mark Anderson and Samp. Shout out to them on a great tournament run. And I assume Samp's podcast also will be diving into his experiences that weekend. So Limited Level Ups and what is it, Rough Drafts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're not checking out those podcasts, you should be if you want more of an inside look at Spotlight Toronto.
Yes. Good shout. Good shout.
All right. And on that note, thank you as always to Salty Pretzels for our intro and outro music. Make sure you give it a listen.
You can find all of our content at lordsoflimited.com. There is links to our episode backlog, our YouTube channel, our Twitch streams, our Patreon page, our merch. All of that is available at lordsoflimited.com.
If you've got any feedback about the show or any questions, shoot us an email at lordsoflimited@gmail.com.
Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week for another episode of Lords of Limited.
Thanks, everybody. See you later.